What is up, YouTube? We got the Volvo here again. Today we're going to be doing some tie rods. We got inners and outers. Try and keep these together. Unfortunately, on Volvos, they're specified for two different ones, so I just went ahead and bought both sets because I don't know which ones are on it, and I didn't want to pull them off to figure it out. So I just bought four total inner tie rods. You can see kind of. I'll have to take them out of the bags, but you can. These ones have smaller threads than these ones. These ones have a bigger shank on them. So we know these are for a bigger style, and these ones are for a smaller style. So we'll have to figure out which ones of those we need. And then these are the outers, left and right. So I'll show you how to do some tie rods today. Alright, so first things first, we're going to get the car jacked up. We're going to get some jack stands under it. You want to have both sides up off the ground when you're doing tie rods, especially if you're doing both. It's recommended to do inner and outer. There's no point to just do one. You've got to get the car aligned anyway. So another thing, when you're doing tie rods, you're going to want to go get your car aligned afterwards. So you want the car jacked up, you want the wheels as straight as possible. That way you can get the best possible alignment before you take it to the alignment shop. You don't want to tear your tires up driving it to the alignment shop. So we're going to get the car jacked up, and we'll get jack stands under it. We'll be right back. So when you're testing out tie rods, you just want to kind of shake the wheel back and forth, and I can feel there's a lot of play side to side, up and down pretty good, so the wheel bearings are pretty good. But yeah, I know there's a lot of side to side play, so we'll go ahead and get these swapped out. Next, we're going to zap off the wheels. And just like typical Volvo style, these are lug bolts instead of lug nuts. So before you start taking bolts loose and stuff like this, I always recommend you want to get the nut on the tie rod loose first, which is this nut right here. And obviously I already loosened it to begin with, but just want to get it started. That way you're not sitting here trying to break that loose while the tie rod's off and all, flopping around. Next, we're going to zap this bottom bolt off here. Comes off pretty easy. And then in order to break this loose, because that's still going to be tight in there, we got our trusty little hammer here. We're going to tap it loose. There you go. And that's how you break the tie rod loose. So now all we got to do is get the inner out. Alright, so the bellow on this one's completely destroyed, which kind of helps us, makes it real easy to get this off. So now we're going to get the inner tie rod off. And the best way to do that is with this tool right here. I bought this a while back. I've let a bunch of friends borrow it. I couldn't even tell you where I bought this from. But what can I tell you? This is probably the best inner tie rod tool I've ever owned. And I 10 out of 10 recommend if you do tie rods on a regular basis, because this is going to make your job a million times easier. Alright, so with this tool, you're going to slip it around the inner tie rod base right there, like that. And then you're going to break it loose by putting an extension like this in the hole. And there you go. Now you have the torque on the end here, and you can crack that loose with a large ratchet. Like that. So, after pulling all these apart, getting the length about where it was originally, put the new boot, put the destroyed boot on the new tie rods. I got the length to about where I need it to be. Enough to get it to drive down the road to get it to the alignment shop, so it'll be good. So now we're going to go ahead and install this tie rod, and we'll be done with this side. Alright, so we got the tie rods all done. Now let's clean up this mess here and go take the car for a ride. Alright, so we got the whole car back on the ground. We got our mess cleaned up. I'll show you what went wrong here. So So you see on these ball joints here, they're completely like destroyed, loose. I think this one actually like moves around in the hole. That's pretty messed up. And then these are super loose too. I don't even have to like manipulate these crazy. It's super loose too. So that's why I replaced all 4 tie rods, inner and outer, on this turd Volvo. So let's go take it for a test drive. The alignment looks alright. This wheel turns slightly this way. So is this one slightly turned inward. So should be alright.